Peace to the gods and goddesses. Planet Kai.
Welcome to my channel, Rashad. If you like this video, man, like, share, subscribe, subscribe to the channel. You know, peace to guys and goddesses of Planet Kai. Here we go again with another video discussing these transcripts, man. Rashad Jamal's trial. Yet again, I may say that yet again. Do I believe he is guilty? No. Looking into the first video, reading Pocahontas, which is the alleged victim, hearing her side, what do I feel? Even more, he's not guilty. Also, y'all wouldn't believe what I just read today. What makes me feel he's not guilty? Okay, so if y'all didn't watch the first video, man, go ahead, go watch it, man. We just talk, it's the testimony of the alleged victim. She speaks on what happened. Her story basically what summarizes her stories did not add up, inconsistencies, lies, and it shows that she was being groomed if you pay attention. So now it is Darshell Smith's testimony, or it's her side. You know, they're asking her questions, and you know, I lost brain cells really reading it. Like, I feel bad for the people that actually went up there to go, you know, actually see the trial in person, because, you know, based on what I read, bro, I would have lost brain cells listening to this woman talk, dude. Like, I know what type of woman she is, man, just by reading it. But let's dive in. I don't want to waste our time. Let's tap in with it, man.
Leave the motherfucking university now.
All right, so people in Rashad Jamal's party, they were basically talking to Darshell about like her criminal history. So strangely enough, she got cases on her, and she was supposed to be attending those cases, but strangely enough, she's attending Rashad Jamal's case. You know what I'm saying? They excused her. So they was asking her, hey, what you charged with? They said the Walton County case that they asked her, was it theft of mislaid property and financial something, car theft or car fraud or something like that? And she said correct, but then they said, but that's not true, you have 2 felony cases over there, correct? She said, I think so. Like, and they said, okay, so forgery, I'm sorry, identity fraud and financial fraud. And they were like, okay, yes ma'am. They like, you don't know what you're being charged with? And she said, actually I think it's more, I don't have it in front of me. So that's pretty weird if you ask me. So they asked her about Dariah Smith, which is her eldest daughter, and they asked her, she said it's her daughter. And then they asked her, now speaking of dishonesty, have you ever accused another one of your baby fathers of child abuse? And she said, of child abuse. Child abuse? They said child molestation, child abuse, you know, something being improper. It was like, with a child, and she said yes. And they said yes, and she said no, not that I'm aware of, no. And then they said, you're not aware of whether or not you accused Tyrone Jacobs. And then she said, you said for a child, you need to definitely bring out the correct information. You said a child. Now that's pretty weird. She act like, you know, she's acting like she don't know what they're asking. Right here it said, answer simple questions. They showed her a text message, right? And they said, it was showing text messages between Rashad Jamal and Darshell. And they said, and so you were kind of begging him to come back and trying to talk to him. He said, and then he's still kind of shunning you. So basically, she's trying to get him to come back, and he's saying, no, I'm not trying to come back, not trying to deal with the drama. And then she said, they said to her, you then say, you think you're hurting me now, you're going to cry later. Now, this is very important evidence, because on top of her daughter stories not making up, they have proof of her saying basically something's going to happen to him in the near future. So something, you know, something negative. And then they said, okay, and she said, yes, I did say that. And then, okay, so they said, also, you told the jury that after he left you, he didn't call to check on his son. Okay, stuff like that. All right here, they asked her, you know, the reason why they're saying refresh your full recollection, because she's acting so confused. Like, if you read it, she acting confused. She keeps saying, I can't recall, and then they asked her, um, okay, and so he says, you clearly, or they asked her, talking to her, you clearly said that you and him are a package deal, and you're basically saying, if I'm with you, I can't see, or if I'm not with you, I can't see him. And he's going off, he's mad, he's ranting about you using his son as a pawn. Your response is that, not that you didn't say it, you said, I love you, bye, right? And she said, where is that? Basically, what they're doing is examining her vindictive behavior of what she's saying to Rashad Jamal, basically saying, like, if you ain't about to be with me, you're not going to see your son, type of thing. Okay, then they asked her, okay, basically when they met up with Zaza, right? The Pocahontas, okay, this is what they saying, and he's at the front door with his mom, right, waiting to see Zaza. She said yes. Tayana, where Pocahontas comes out and gives Rashad Jamal a hug, right, and she said no, and they said Sharon Watson, which is I'm sure Rashad Jamal's mother, was standing there with Rashad, right, and they said yes, or she said yes. Your testimony today is that Pocahontas did not come out in front of you and Sharon and give Rashad a hug. That's your testimony. And then she said, I would like to elaborate on that. Go ahead. First of all, she didn't just come out, like she ran out and embraced him. And they said, okay. And she was like, okay, Miss Sharon directed Tyner to come out and give hugs. Like, that don't even sound right. And they said, okay. And she said she directed that. Pocahontas didn't want to see him. So the answer to my question is, did she come out and give Rashad a hug? Right? Then she said she did. So that's pretty weird. She just lied and then switched her story. Okay, now right here, they said, okay, giving hugs, right? And then they said, your testimony today. Remember, Sharon Watson was standing there too. And then she said, okay. Like she cut her off. And it said, is that she didn't ask you whether she could go with Rashad and Zaza? She said no. And she didn't start crying when you said no? No. Okay, but you do remember that she came out and gave him a hug, and she said, I remember Miss Watson taking my daughter outside to give her hugs, okay? They said, okay, like, peep how she talking. Then they said, okay, and then later that night you were on the phone with Rashad. And then she said, I don't recall, I may have been. But we are on a testimony. Like, this is a testimony, this is a whole case. And she acted like she can't recall nothing. That's really strange if you ask me.
Yeah, I got low vibration like that line, right?
Okay, now on here it says, okay, she basically called the police, right? And they said, but you never called them to say anything. There's no 911 call anywhere about a child molestation, right? And she said, that's because I called. The court said, hang on, remember, yes or no? And she said, yes. Okay, okay, moving forward. Then he questions her, say, so I guess I'm going to go back to my question because we're going to find out what time you called the police. They're trying to figure out when did she call the police. And she said, and your testimony under oath on this stand is that you called the police before you spoke with Kenya Howard, which is, I'm pretty sure, Rashad Jamal's sister. And then she said, I called the police before my child told me what happened to her. So she already called the police on Rashad before before Pocahontas said what happened. That's what she's saying. All right, so now she said, I've been on the phone with Kenya a couple times talking about Rashad and about the mother. Okay, and then they talking about this, that, and the third. Then they say, okay, so after you spoke with Kenya, did you say, hey, I'm about to call the police? Or what did you tell Kenya after Pocahontas told her what happened? Because allegedly Rashad Jamal's sister heard the conversation. And she said, I don't recall that conversation completely. And then they said, okay, but do you recall that you told Detective Still that after Pocahontas allegedly told you this, you knew you had to call the police, right? And she said, that's a confusing question, so I don't understand that. They said, was seeing your video with the detective still refresh your recollection? She said, yes, that's fine. And then he said, so I want to clarify because, so after she told you You told detectives still that you knew you had to call the police to make a report, right? And she said yes. And then he said, I'm about to go back a little bit. Okay, but you never follow up after that call. Okay, now she said, honestly, a report had already been made because basically she didn't follow up on the phone call. I had called the police about the situation when she told me what happened. Okay, when Officer Dufresne gets to you, you didn't say immediately, this man kidnapped my son and, touched my daughter. You didn't say that immediately, correct? She said, I don't recall what I said. Bro, you're on, like, man. They, they said, okay, you start talking about Zaza's situation. And you said, oh, basically, by the way, he touched my daughter. So basically, how she reported this child assault, sexual assault was basically, she started talking about Zaza's situation, like by the kidnapping part that she said, oh, by the way, he touched my daughter. That's how she threw it on him. And okay, and she was like, I said it like that. It's like, what? And he's like, I'm paraphrasing. She said, okay, do you want to see your video? And she said, don't do that. I'm sorry. I said, don't do that because that's okay when you not what happened. Okay, I get to ask you the question. You either know how to answer yes or no. If you want me to clarify, I can clarify. The reason why they're saying that, man, she sound like a joke, man. Like it's really sad of how uh uneducated she sound. Like it's crazy. Like she can't answer questions. Now on here it say, when you spoke to Officer Dufresne, she told you not to speak with Pocahontas about the case, correct? And she said yes, but you continue to speak with her about the case, correct? No, I have no clue what you're talking about. Okay, did you tell Detective Still that Pocahontas only talked to you about what happened when you talked to her? No, when she came to me, I listened to her. I don't force her to talk about it. Okay. All right, she say, did you tell Detective Still that Pocahontas doesn't talk about the case unless you talk to her? She said, I don't recall. Okay, they showed her a video because she can't remember shit apparently. So you told Detective Still that she doesn't bring it up unless you talk to her about it. Yes. So basically, she just lied. So she kind of just said. So she was saying like, okay, she don't talk to her about the case. You feel me? She said when she come to talk about it, she don't force it. The daughter comes, but now she just said, okay, in an interview or thing that she told a detective that she doesn't bring it up unless she talked to her about it. So she basically just lied again. So she said, can I elaborate? And she said, okay, of course. Now she's telling the truth because she got caught lying again. I'm going to ask my daughter, like she acted like I just brought it up. I just want to see how my daughter feeling after she told me something, blah, blah, blah. She wanted to kind of confine, whatever. So basically, Officer D told you specifically do not talk to her about this case unless she talks to the forensic interviewer, correct? So basically, she basically violated the case. Then she said, okay, I mean, I don't. Yes, no, I don't know. She said, I don't recall. Like, man, this blowing me. How do you don't recall? Like, they said, do not talk to her about the case unless you talk to the forensic interviewer. Do you remember that? She don't remember. Unbelievable, man. And then, okay, he was gonna bring up another video, but he said they tired of seeing it. They probably tired of seeing the uploading of the videos. All right, so they said, and you told detective that that Rashad never left alone with your kids unless they were playing hide and seek. She says she don't recall the damn conversation. Okay, then they showed another goddamn video because she can't remember nothing. So you told detectives too that the only time that Rashad would be alone with your daughter was when they were playing hide and seek. And she said, yes, that's right. You didn't tell him anything about a barbecue grill. I did say something about a barbecue grill. Not that time. No, I didn't. When did you say something? I mean, the only time I remember, when did I say something whenever I spoke? She can't remember nothing. Oh, when you were preparing for and they said, oh, when you were preparing for the trial, you brought up the story about the barbecue grill. She said that wasn't a story, man. I do cook at basically, bro. They never brought up because they saying that when he allegedly touched her daughter, she was at a barbecue grill. Darshell was gone, but this is a new story. This was not brought up back then in when she was talking to detectives. like the only time he was alone with the kids was during hide and seek. It's another lie. This barbecue grill situation is another lie and another inconsistent story.
Lies, 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 lies. Why do they tell these lies, lies, lies?
All right, and they said, okay, next, moving on. In the video we played, and I don't want to play it again, but you're telling the detective that Pocahontas told you, you said you specifically asked her whether he made her touch him on the inside, and she said no, only the outside, correct? And she said outside the pants. Yes, my question is, when you asked her about what did he do, inside or out, bro, she said, I don't recall. So they played the video again. They said, stop right there. Okay, so you asked her, and she said, yeah, I was literally thinking about it. Like, I don't know what that has to do with it. And she says, or they said, my question is not complicated. She said, okay. You asked her, did she ask the same question? She said, I can't answer that question. How can you not answer a question? This is supposed to be the whole case. Oh, man. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, I'm getting mad reading this shit. And they said, okay, the jury saw the video, I move on, and then, okay, whatever. It happened, and then she told you that it happened 8 times, right? And she said, right, okay, I'm going to go back to you saying that you didn't know that his girlfriend was that's another situation. Okay. Once again, free my nigga Rashad Jamal out of jail, man. If y'all, there's more videos like this coming, bro. But where I stand with this, bro, where I stand with this, bro, it's like I don't understand how they even, like, bro, if I was the jury at this point, I would have just been like, come on, man, I'm dismiss the case, man. Like, I would have, that's how I would have felt. Like, I really don't understand how, like, it shows how you can get railroaded in court. It shows how foul the system is, bro. Because it ain't no way somebody can sit there and not recall a damn thing, can win the case. Like, I'm sorry. Stories don't add up. She violating certain protocols, lying on her testimony, acting like she can't remember. Like, oh my God. It's very disheartening to see that he really just went down for something like this, even though he will be back. But, you know, he still is away from his family, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Over a contradictive, inconsistent story. Like, it's very sad. But, man, if y'all like this video, man, we got more coming with this review. If you like this video, man, like, share, subscribe, share it to everybody, man. Let them know what's going on. Let the world know what's going on, so we can know what's going on, so everybody can know what's going on. And F the haters, the smoothies, man. We out here. Ain't nobody gonna stop us. And he gonna be back. And it's free Rashad Jamal. Peace to the guys. The guys is a Planet Cop.
Got me fucked up on Larry Bernard Hoover.